Welcome to All Access, the show that shoots 100% from the field in delivering Prof Sports news. I'm Cody Decker.
And I'm John Patterson, the guy who predicted that the Royals was going to win 4-1.
I have no comment about that. Let's just move on. The Rowan College at Gloucester County hosted the NJAC Championship course for the cross-country runners on Saturday. First, the women took the 6K course, and the Lady Profs finished second in the race out of 6 conference teams. Rowan was led by senior Catherine Doherty, who finished 6th with a time of 22 minutes, 20.4 seconds. 5 other senior runners finished in the top 20 for Rowan, including Kristen Bettis in 15th, Jesselyn Wright in 16th, Christina Ritchie in 17th, and Anya Yobel in 19th. It is up to the rankings committee to determine if the Lady Profs will earn an at-large bid to the NCAA Atlantic Regional, which will take place at Letchworth State Park in Castile, New York on November 14th.
The men would take to the Rowan College course next in their quest for an NJAC championship. They would finish 3rd out of 7 teams in the 8K race. Rowan was led by senior Pat McCurry, who finished 8th with a time of 25 minutes, 16.51 seconds. Junior Zach Heim followed right behind him in 9th with a time of 25 minutes, 27.61 seconds. 3 other profs finished in the top 20, including Kevin Veltri in 13th, William Cheedy in 19th, and Alex Trapani in 20th. Coming into the NJAC championship meet, Rowan was ranked 8th in the NCAA Atlantic Region, which should secure them a spot in the NCAA Atlantic Regional meet at Letchworth State Park on November 14th. The race begins at 12:30 p.m.
On the eve of Halloween, the Rowan women's volleyball team traveled to Rochester, New York to participate in the New York Regional Challenge for the first of 2 matchups on the day. On Halloween, they had 2 matches as well. The first match was against SUNY Fredonia. Unfortunately, Rowan lost 3-0 in straight sets. The set scores against Fredonia were 25-17, 25-21, and 25-16. The next match on the day was the same story. Rowan was defeated in a 3-0 loss to the Stevens Institute of Technology in straight sets. Set scores went 25-12, 25-23, and 25-22. On the day as a whole, Dalton Sanchez had 7 kills. Defensive specialist and setter Rebecca D'Antonio accumulated 12 assists and 6 digs. Setter Mary Grace Testa chipped in with 11 assists. Outside hitters Erica O'Hagan and Aaron Keegan contributed with 8 kills apiece. On Halloween, Rowan looked to ward away the evil spirits that plagued them the previous night, the loss. Even Halloween itself could not get Rowan out of their funk. In the first match on the day, 3rd of the tournament, Rowan lost in a heartbreaker 3-2 against Nazareth College. The set scores were 25-23, 25-23, 26-28, 23-25, and 15-7. Hoping to take the positives from that match, they had a quick turnaround and faced Rochester Institute of Technology. They were overmatched as they lost in straight sets 3-0. On the day, middle hitter Jamie Schertz contributed with 12 kills. Outside hitter Aaron Keegan compiled 11 kills and 14 digs. Defensive specialist and setter Rebecca D'Antonio and setter Mary Grace Testa had 22 and 21 assists respectively. Testa also tallied 15 digs. Outside hitter Erica O'Hagan chipped in with 18 digs. The Profs have an overall mark of 11 and 21 and will compete in the NJAC Championship Tournament starting November 3rd against Ramapo College.
Man, that's a lot of volleyball.
A lot of volleyball, but hey, they got 1 win out of it, which is good. You know?
Like, listen, practice makes perfect.
Absolutely.
Right now, let's turn the show over to Deshaun Waller, who's sitting down with 2 women's soccer players for this week's edition of Prof Spotlight.
Welcome back to All Access. I'm Deshaun Waller with this week's edition of Prof Spotlight. Joining me at this time is Danielle Macy and Dara Wagner. Thanks for joining us today. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. How would you describe your last 4 years at Rowan University?
More than anything, I would say quick. I feel like I was just a freshman yesterday, and it's weird. Now I'm only from about a half hour from here, and I would say I've gained my best friends in college, so it's almost more sad. Like when I go home for breaks, I don't want to go home, but when I'm at home, I'm itching to get back to school, so it's been a second home for me here, definitely.
Excellent. And how would you describe your senior and your freshman? How would you describe your first year here at Rowan?
I'd say exciting, definitely. Soccer's made it very exciting. I've met a lot of great people, and to think that I've only known these people for about 2 months is pretty unreal, considering I consider a lot of them are my best friends now. So it's been fun.
That's great. What are some things you like to do off the soccer field?
I'm kind of a little bit crazy. I have a 3.8 GPA, so when I am not playing soccer or exercising, I'm studying. I'm in the library. It's my second home, I swear. I'm there 6 hours a day with a computer science major. All I do is study, as lame as that sounds.
It's nice. I'm saying you.
I like to study, but not as much as Macy. What else? I like to hang out with my friends a lot. Just normal, everyday stuff, kind of. Nothing crazy.
Excellent. Let's get to the team. Obviously you're 11-2 this year, winning your last 3 games by a combined score of 11-0, which is fantastic. What has the coaching staff done all year to prepare you and your teammates to be so successful on the soccer field?
I would say they focus on repetition a lot. You could tell what our weaknesses are 3 weeks in, and since that base point, we've been working on bettering ourselves with those goals. We'll do similar practices every week, but we change a little bit, so he focuses on repetition to fix our problems, which has really helped us.
Fantastic. And coming into your freshman year, you obviously seen how good the team is and how well they've been playing. What has that experience been like for you to see the team be so successful?
It's a great chance to do something great just my freshman year. I mean, I still have 3 years after this, but to think that I can contribute and we can win, maybe hopefully an NJAC and stuff. My first year is awesome, so it's very exciting.
Speaking of the NJAC, how important was it to beat TCNJ and get the #1 seed in the tournament?
It's actually very important. I'm a senior. This is the first time we've ever had first seed, at least when I've been here. And just having a home game, you get the atmosphere, especially with no classes tomorrow. We're going to get a big crowd, which will help us. And we're one of, I believe, 3 grass fields, so a lot of teams aren't used to playing on grass, which gives us another advantage. So it was a huge win for us.
Fantastic. And how was transitioning from going to playing high school soccer to college soccer been for you?
The main thing was just the pace of the game's a lot quicker. Danielle's definitely helped me out with if I'm too slow with the ball, she'll yell at me. She'll make sure. But it's just the pace of the game, and the players obviously are bigger and stronger and faster. So I think I've matured over the weeks. But.
Excellent. What do you think the team has to do in order to win the conference tournament?
I think everybody at the conference tournament, it's a matter of heart. It's not skill anymore. Everybody has their skill. You're basically not getting better from this point, and it's just whoever wants it more. You come out and you give it 110%. I think that team will come out on top.
And finally, what's something that people don't know too much about you?
Apparently, I make a mean bacon, egg, and cheese. So
she does.
That's pretty much
she does.
And lastly, what is a moment in your soccer career that you'll always remember as you leave out as a senior?
Actually, it happened, was it last week? I thought it would be something from my freshman year, but honestly, the freshmen this year had given me the best senior day I could ever ask for. Coming in this year, there was 2 seniors, me and a transfer, so she's not even from like my original freshman class, and 15 freshmen, so I was really scared that I wasn't going to be close with the team this year. And they came in, they actually got me the sneakers I'm wearing, and they just made the locker room great, and they gave me a win on my senior day, which is just, it was the best feeling ever. I'll always remember that.
Excellent, and thank you ladies for spending time with us at All Access. That's all the time we have here this week for Prop Spotlight. I'd like to thank Danielle Macy and Dara Wagner for stopping by. Coming up after the break, Cody and John has more updates on everything Rowan sports, so stay right here for more All Access.
Welcome back to All Access. We have an update on men's soccer, but let's first talk about the latest on the field hockey team. Take it away, John.
Oh, that's me? All right. The Lady Profs went up against the Elizabethtown Blue Jays on Thursday. At 68-36, senior forward Johanna James tied the score at 2 when she hit the cage on a scramble. Senior back Marissa Marini recorded the game winner with 32 seconds left. Rowan goalie Carly DeMarco stopped 7 shots, improving the Lady Profs record to 12-5.
On the night of tricks and treats, the Lady Profs faced the William Patterson Pioneers in a game that had a dramatic outcome. It was a good game between Rowan and William Patterson University, but a game-winning goal at 2:08 in overtime by forward Jenna Pressler made the Profs victorious, climbing to a 13-5 record and seeded second in the NJAC Championship Tournament.
The Rowan University men's soccer team defeated Kane University 3-0 in the first round of the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship Tournament on Saturday night. Shane Kohler, Vinny Ignatowicz, and Shane Doherty were the players that scored for the Profs. Travis Ward and Vincent Guzzo each tallied an assist. Rowan goalie Kyle Dennis stopped 2 shots in 82 minutes and 17 seconds of action. Keeper Grant Kelly played the final 7:43. The next game, the men's soccer team will come against the top-seeded Montclair State University in the semifinals on Wednesday, November 4th at 4 p.m.
Definitely an excellent win for the men's soccer team, John, heading into the tournament.
Oh, yes, man. It's very big, and I'm actually looking forward to them just going further. I'm talking about to the NCAA championships, too.
Definitely a great team that's had a great season so far, so hopefully they can keep it up.
Very great season.
Now for all the headlines in the world of pro sports, we audible over to Letty Schnee for this week's Pro Talk.
Thanks, Cody. This week in pro sports. It was yet another busy Sunday in the NFL as 4 teams remain unbeaten. However, one of the biggest games involved 2 middle-of-the-pack teams. The Giants visited the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome, and the Saints won 52-49 in an absolute shootout. Drew Brees threw for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards in the first half alone. Brees hit 5 different receivers for his record-tying 7 touchdown passes, including 2 to Willie Snead and Brandon Cooks. Eli Manning also had himself a game in the losing effort, throwing 6 touchdown passes, including 3 to Odell Beckham Jr. and 2 to Dwayne Harris for 350 yards on the day. Also in the NFL, 2 of the top teams played on the big stage of Sunday Night Football. The undefeated Green Bay Packers visited the also undefeated Denver Broncos at Sports Authority Field. Aaron Rodgers had a difficult night trying to decipher the top-ranked Denver defense. Rodgers only passed for 77 yards in the night and was sacked 3 times. The only bright side for Green Bay was that Eddie Lacy found the end zone after seeing James Starks getting more snaps at halfback the past couple of games. Over to the NBA, where the Oklahoma City Thunder saw their 2 stars, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, combined for 91 points, 23 rebounds, and 10 assists in a 139-136 overtime victory versus the Orlando Magic. The Magic took a more balanced scoring approach to this game, having 6 players with double-digit points. A big story out of NASCAR this weekend is Jeff Gordon took advantage of a retaliation move to jump into the lead and emerge victorious in the Sprint Cup Series at Martinsville. This was the veteran driver's first victory of the season, and it put him in a good spot to capture the Sprint Cup Championship. And finally, to the biggest sporting event of the week, which occurred in Flushing, Queens, as John alluded to before. MLB's Kansas City Royals celebrated their first series title since 1985 on the field known as home to the New York Mets. The Mets had the chance to end the game and head back to Kansas City, but a 2-0 lead was blown in the 9th, which led to the eventual loss in the 12th inning. Royals catcher Salvador Perez was named Series MVP. The Mets will look forward to next year as both them and the Royals are projected to contend for the title again next season. That's all I have for you on this week's Pro Talk. John and Cody will have updates on both the ice hockey and the football teams, but after the break, I sit down with Deshaun Waller and our associate producer Antimo Farilli in this week's Crossfire Debate, so stay tuned for more All Access.
Welcome back to All Access. I'm Deshaun Waller, back with you for our second edition of Crossfire Debate. Joining me at this time is Pro Talk Lenny Schnee and RTN sports producer Antimo Farilli. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
Excellent. The Philadelphia Eagles are sitting at 3-4 and coming off a bye week before a big divisional matchup with the Dallas Cowboys this Sunday. What do the Eagles need to do in order to make a playoff run? Let's Lenny start it off.
Let's start with finishing a game. What's going on with the Eagles is they like to get up a lead. Sam Bradford likes to go up and they decide to play catch with the other team. This season, he has 10 interceptions and only 9 touchdowns. I think you can see the problem right there. He needs to start throwing touchdowns and stop throwing to the other team. What do you think, Antimo?
I think he needs to learn how to move out of the pocket. He's spending way too much time back there, and he's getting sacked. Another problem with that is he takes too much time back there, and with the line not healthy, we don't have a lot of our starting linemen in. It's got to be quick passes, get rid of the ball, and connect with his receivers. Coming off the bye week, there should be healthy, well-rested.
You can help.
And that should go a long way. And on the defensive side of the ball, our defense is on the field a lot. So if Bradford can keep the offense on the field longer, we might do better.
Keeping the offense on the field also involves getting the running game going, which, they pick up Murray from Dallas. They steal him from Dallas, giving him a nice contract, and he's coming. He only has about 300 yards and I believe 88 rushes. It's only 3 touchdowns. At this point last season, he was already nearing 1,000 yards. It's really not what they were expecting, and has to do with that O-line. But you definitely would like to see him get going and that'll definitely keep the offense on the field more, keep the defense charged up.
I really hope we don't have a repeat of the last Dallas game.
That would
Murray
be
never
Yeah,
got
that was-
going. Dallas was stuffing him behind the line. He never got positive yards till the second half. So I hope they come out on fire this time.
Excellent. So Lenny and Antimo obviously think that Sam Bradford has to have better quarterback play in the run game. Has to definitely get going. Moving on to the next one. All 4 major sports are going on this past 6 days in the world of pro sports. What out of those 4 sports, which one do you feel is the best and why?
Well, we all know what Antimo is going to say. Go ahead. You can lead this off.
You're right. I'm going to say it's football. I'm only going to say it's football because it's a different sport. It's a different brand. It takes elements of the human being that you have to be okay with going out onto the field and beating the opponent in front of you for 4 quarters up and down a field. And you're fighting for the 6 inches in front of your face. And football players, they're rough, they're tough, and they literally fight for yardage. They're fighting for inches, and they are their own brand of warrior. They're fighting in their own arena. And on that field, it's a war zone. And I don't think any other sport can come close to that kind of mentality.
I'm gonna have to counter that, and I'm gonna go with baseball. Baseball to me, it's America's pastime. It predates football by like 30 or 40 years. It predates organized professional football by about 40 years. They started in the 1880s. What's good about baseball is that it kind of revolutionized everything because people started to come out and watch baseball games. It was the first sport to get the fans involved, and it also going to the athletes. They play one of the more rigorous schedules. They play 5, 6, sometimes 7 games in a week, 162 games over the 6-7 month season, and they could go as far as, like the Mets and the Royals did, just finishing up the season on Sunday. The Royals coming out victorious with the World Series crown. They have to work so hard, and not that football players don't work hard, but football players have that week in between each game, I think, to kind of recharge, and baseball players, other than the starting pitchers, don't really have that luxury. So that's why I have to go with baseball.
But baseball players aren't beating themselves up for 3 hours each week. I mean,
This is true.
It's not as physical. I don't know what you're...
They're different sports, and I think we can agree on that. They're different sports.
It's true, but you don't have to go into a baseball game wanting to beat the person in front of you.
Baseball also has to do a lot more with the little decisions, as you see something like one small error can change the entire outcome of a game. And in football, a lot of times you'll see, and I know the Eagles and their NFC rival Giants have been having some trouble with it. You can go and make a big play, an interception or something, and think, oh, we have to take advantage of it, and then they don't end up putting, the 6 or 7 points on the board. And in baseball, one mistake and runs are getting put on the board, or pitchers are getting taken out of the game. I think that the little things affect baseball a little bit more.
Excellent. So Antimo would say that football is better. Lenny agrees that baseball.
But he's a
is
Mets
better.
fan.
And he's a Mets fan. Turning over to Rowan football, where the Prows pulled off a 15-6 win over Frostburg State this past weekend to stay in the NJAC race. They have 2 games remaining on their schedule: Kean University and the Friday Night Lights regular season finale against TCNJ. Can the Prows finish out the season with 2 wins? And if so, what will contribute to that success? Let's Antimo started.
They played a very tough game on Saturday, and it took them a very long time to get going. They came out in the second half, and they're going to need to come together as a team, and they're going to need to focus on all elements of the game. And I always said that the most important part of a football team is the defense, because if the other team can't
Absolutely.
score,
I agree.
they can't lose. So the defense is going to have to step up, and the offense is going to have to work twice as hard, because they did lose a leader. They lost Whit Marcelin, and
That's a shame.
but they're like every football player, like every football team. All the focus is bouncing back, and you're looking towards the next game. They're
Always.
going to grow stronger. They're going to work towards it, and they're going to go into the next game focused on Kean University.
I'm going to piggyback right off of what Antimo said. The defense obviously is the most important thing in any game, but for Rowan especially, it's been their centerpiece. They have the #1 defense in the NJAC as of last week. They went into Frostburg, who's emerged as one of the top teams in the NJAC in their first season, and they went and, they showed them who's boss. They said, we've won the NJAC, the past 2 or 3 years, I believe. And, they're definitely looking to go and get into the playoffs and do it again. And with their defense, Pinckney's going to have to step up now, throw some more passes now with Witt, unfortunately, probably not coming back for the rest of the season. So I think that Rowan definitely has a good shot to end the season 2-0 and finish that season off, head to the playoffs, and hopefully grab another NJAC championship.
Excellent. Thank you guys for an awesome debate, as usual. That's all the time we have this week for this week's Crossfire debate. I'd like to thank Lenny and Antimo for participating. Cody and John have the latest on ice and the gridiron, so let's visit them over at the desk.
Thank you, Deshaun. We have updates on Rowan ice hockey and football. But first, let's hear about the women's soccer team. Take it away, Cody.
Will do, buddy. The Rowan University women's soccer team won 1-0 over the College of New Jersey on Thursday night in the last game of the regular season. The Profs earned the top seed in the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship Tournament. As a result, they will receive a first-round bye for the tournament. Melissa Kelly scored the lone goal for the Profs. Defensively, goalie Shelby Money completed her 4th shutout of the season as she turned away 7 shots. Rowan will host the winner of the first-round game between the 4th seed Kane University and number 5 Stockton University in the semifinals on Tuesday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. The final of the NJAC Championship Tournament is scheduled for Friday, November 6th at the highest remaining seed.
The Rowan ice hockey team came back home to take on Holy Cross on Saturday night after 2 wins on the road. The Profs would extend their winning streak to 3 games with a win over the Crusaders 5-2. On their first power play opportunity of the game in the first period, Robert Wilworth received a backhand pass from Brett Lechewski to put the Profs on the scoreboard. Rowan would double their lead moments later with a goal from Mike Valupo on a rebound. With a 2-goal lead heading into the first intermission, the Crusaders made adjustments and would trim the deficit in half with a goal from Nick Bada in transition. Holy Cross would have a bit of a momentum heading into the third period, but the Profs will pull away. Alex Polis went forehand-backhand on a centering pass to catch Crusader goalie Jack Parsons out of position. Holy Cross will answer with a power play goal from John Collins on a deflection with 1:54 left in regulation. Rowan responded back with a Samuel Meyer goal on an odd-man rush to make the score 4-2. To put the game totally out of reach, Wilworth netted his 2nd goal of the game into the empty net. He leads the team in goals with 7 and points with 11 so far this season. In the first Southeast Regional ranking by the ACHA, Rowan sits in 11th in the first ranking period. They finished 5th last season heading into the regionals. Next up will be an away game against MAC rival University of Maryland. Puck drop is scheduled for 8 p.m. and you can catch the game at live.rtnch5.com.
The Rowan University football team scored 15 unanswered points in the second half to defeat NJAC opponent Frostburg State University 15-6 on Saturday afternoon. Rowan's offense struggled in the first half, only generating 3 first downs. Frostburg State went into the locker room with a 6-0 lead off of a touchdown from their running back, Gavin Levat. The extra point was blocked. In the second stanza, Rowan's offense came to life. The Profs took the lead off a 38-yard touchdown pass from Dante Pinckney to Zach France. Pinckney finished the game with 5 of 13 passing with 70 yards and the touchdown pass along with an interception. In the fourth quarter, Rowan was able to extend their lead when running back Whit Marcelin crossed the goal line off a 6-yard run. Marcelin, with no surprise, completed the game with 27 attempts for 101 yards and a touchdown. 56 of those yards and the score came in the second half. On the defensive side, Rowan's #1 overall defense in the conference didn't give up a score after Frostburg State's first quarter touchdown. In the second half, they were able to force 4 turnovers, which included 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Individually, linebacker Jeff Rodriguez finished the game with 11 tackles and a pick. Cornerback Eddie Davis accumulated 8 tackles, a forced and recovered fumble, along with an interception and a pass breakup. Linebacker Darren Dungy was all over the field as he completed the game with 14 tackles and an interception, which once again earned him NJAC Defensive Player of the Week. Rowan is now 6-2 with a 4-2 mark in the conference. Their next game is against Kane University this Saturday for a 1 p.m. kickoff.
Whew. We have a day off tomorrow, man. What you plan on doing?
We do have a day off for Election Day. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and vote because, you know, the vote matters. I mean, people really need to go out and vote.
I might vote. You know, I don't think.
You might vote? Okay.
Don't tell nobody.
Okay.
That is all the time we have for you this week. On behalf of Cody Decker, Lenny Snee, Deshaun Waller, and the entire All Access team, I'm John Patterson. We'll see you next time.